This is Ming. I'm the host tonight. And today we have a great honor to have our guest, Sarit from U of T. Sarit actually is from the United States. Okay, yeah, he has an amazing ACT score. I was looking at it. Oh my God, it's 35 ACT. That was like what? Less than 1% of the students, right? That's amazing. So I think he can talk more about that. So he actually got a lot of offers from many other universities, including Ohio State University, Boston College, and McGill, and many others. And he also got amazing scholarship as well. But eventually, he chose to come to the great Canada, Toronto, okay, U of T. So he's going to share us his experience from high school, as well as his experience on the campus in U of T. So our session will start shortly. So he will give us around like 15 minutes, 20 minutes introduction presentation about his own experience. After that, we'll move on to our Q&A session. So you are encouraged to ask him questions about the major, the courses, the campus life, anything about the university studies, okay, on campus. So you can leave your comments in the chat box and we will answer them one by one. Okay, so let's get started, okay? So now the room is yours.
Alrighty, I've got my slides. Do you want to pull them up or shall I?
Okay, I'll make you the co-host and you can start sharing the screen.
Alrighty, let me go about pulling those up. Oh geez. Zoom screen sharing, no matter how many times you do it, always tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go here. We do this. We do this.
Yeah. Share.
Share.
Good.
Aha, I assume you can see my presentation?
Yep.
Okay, so in case you missed it, my name is Sarit, and I'm here to talk about the University of Toronto. So first, let's just talk a little bit about me. As I said, I'm Sarit. Right now I'm a second year, so I'm 19, I'm about to turn 20, and I'm studying Molecular Genetics and Microbiology. I originally came to U of T from New Jersey. I went to high school over in the US. I was born and raised there. And so I'm an international student. It's a little bit of a different experience, and I'd be glad to talk about that if you have any questions. So yeah, let's talk about my high school experience. I went to what I would call an elite public high school in New Jersey. We were pretty competitive. In total, I took 9 AP classes and my ACT score was in the 99th percentile. So I was really kind of up there. In terms of extracurriculars, I was part of a research team. I did Model UN. I played viola with an orchestra, and I was on some engineering teams, stuff like that. On the right here, I actually have a picture of young me on this research team doing a presentation. And this was really where I first found my love for biology. I figured, you know, this is it for me. So moving on, I applied to colleges and I got into quite a few. In addition to U of T, I was admitted to Case Western. They have a pretty good medical school there. McGill, also in Canada, Boston College, and Ohio State. At the end of the day, I was choosing between U of T and Ohio State. Ohio State in particular had offered me admissions to their honors college and quite a lot of scholarship money. But ultimately, I ended up coming to Toronto. So why did I do that? Well, for one, U of T is 18th in the world. We are a really good university and we're proud of it. In addition to being a really good university, Toronto is a great city. I put a picture on the right on the top here of downtown Toronto. I get to look at it every day. It's an amazing place to be. So much good food, so many great people. In addition, the campus is absolutely beautiful. I have a picture in the center here of Trinity College on campus. We have just great stone. The amount of money they spend on landscaping is insane. Well worth it. I love it. But more than just simple aesthetics or the people, I really came here for good research. So Toronto has 9 hospitals affiliated with the university. And while that is good, you know, just in case I get hurt, the real advantage is that there's a lot of research going on at these universities and at these hospitals. Everyone has a research institute. They're all paying people to do very, very cutting edge research. And on the bottom right-hand corner, I put a picture of what's called the Mars Center. This was sponsored by the government of Ontario and it's where a lot of biomedical research goes on. Really, really cool stuff in there. So let's take a second. Let's talk about my my experience as a student. And well, first and foremost, academics. That's what you come to university for. To start, my classes are hard. To be more specific, the classes I've chosen to take are hard. I'm in the biological sciences. I want to go to graduate school. That involves a lot of difficult courses. That being said, my professors are very, very accomplished. They're really nice people. They do love teaching, and they're just great to be around. And one thing I think is worth mentioning is that classes tend to get smaller and smaller as you progress through the years. So at U of T, we have approximately 27,000 students in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, undergraduate students. And what that means is in first year, you end up with a lot of very large courses. I had 1,000-person biology lectures, something like that last year. But very, very quickly, classes get very, very small. So I'm in a laboratory course this year with 27 people, and I have a biochemistry course with maybe 50 people. So speaking a little bit more about that biology course, biochemistry course, I know back in high school, I didn't really know what college courses were like, and so I thought I'd give you guys a little sneak peek. On the right, I have an image of a paper here, and I just highlighted a few of the authors. We were given this paper to kind of analyze. We were supposed to look at some data, and we had to discuss what was going on. So Karen L. Maxwell, Dr. Maxwell, is a professor in the Department of Biochemistry. She's a really nice woman, and she taught the section of the course on proteins. The next author, Dr. Jennifer A. Doudna, in case you aren't aware, recently won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for discovering CRISPR. So she is top of her game in terms of academics, and it's really cool to see my professors doing research at the cutting edge of what's going on right now. Now, of course, classes aren't everything. I do a lot outside of the classroom. And so in terms of extracurriculars, I play with the Campus Philharmonic Orchestra. I really enjoyed playing viola in high school. And so I decided to join an orchestra here, and I had a great time doing it. In addition, I also write for the Varsity. It's one of the oldest newspapers, student newspapers in Canada. And we actually have a few really fun alumni. So William Lyon Mackenzie King, who is Canada's longest serving prime minister. He was around for World War II. He went to the University of Toronto, and he contributed to the Varsity when he was a student. So that's kind of cool to know. In addition, I'm involved with a lot of student governance. And so a lot of the deans and the provosts, they want to make sure that the things they're doing aren't just what administrators want or what professors want. And so they listen to students, and well, I'm one of those students. So I get to have my voice heard there. And finally, I'm a campus tour guide. So I work with the Office of Student Recruitment, and I give tours, I do web chats, stuff like this, and I really enjoy it. I met a lot of really cool people there. Finally, I am a student in the biological sciences. A lot of my degree is research, and so I thought I would talk a little bit more about that. And so up to this point in my degree, I've done research in two different fields. So first, last summer, I was on the iGEM Toronto. This is a synthetic biology research team. It's entirely run by undergraduates, which can be a little bit Lord of the Flies sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. Last summer, I was doing computational research, dealing with protein design, specifically enhancing energetics of proteins. The second thing I will be doing this summer is I'll be working with a professor at the Donnelly Center for Cellular and Biomolecular Research. I put a picture of it on the right here. It's really pretty. They have a bamboo forest in there. And it was pretty simple. I just emailed the professor. I said, hey, I read one of your papers. I thought it was cool. Can I work in your lab? And he talked to me a little more. We did an interview, and he said, sure. And so assuming all things go to plan in terms of COVID, I will be in this groundbreaking center doing some cool work on, I believe, CRISPR, maybe some kind of toxins and stuff like that. But that's research. There's a lot of it here, and I've been really enjoying my experience. And so that's all I have in terms of a formal presentation. I just made sure to include discover.utoronto.ca. That's the link the Office of Student Recruitment uses. If you're interested in attending a tour, anything like that, you can go check it out there. I know there's a lot of very good tour guides who'd love to talk to you. And so that being said, I think I'll stop my share, and we'll take some questions.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. That's brief, but I think this is a good foundation for your questions. And I think most of our audience are from grade 9, 10, 11. So I'm sure they have a lot of questions about what is this major is about, how can I apply? So I leave some time for you to type in your questions in the chat box. Before that, I just have some general questions. Well, I'm also a graduate from U of T, but I do not know the fancy part. I'm more on education. I'm on OEC. So let me ask you a generic question. I always ask students when they join our webinars. I say, so if you look back to your high school years, okay, if you get a chance to like a time travel, you have a time capsule, you can go back when you were like 17 or 16, you got a chance to talk to yourself then. So what would you say to yourself?
A lot of things. So first, I think in America, I didn't really consider the University of Toronto. And I think there was a lot of focus, especially among my peers in my high school, on, Ivy Leagues, elite, we need, name brand. And really, when you think about it, I could have gone further to college if I'd gone to Stanford or if I'd gone to Caltech or anywhere in Texas like that. And so I think Toronto kind of fits in with this East Coast elite. I think it's a school that is right up there, and it should be considered. It's kind of slept on. But I also think, name brand isn't everything. A lot of people were concerned about, what's the ranking of the school you want to go to? Like, what is that? The ranking of the actual school you go to doesn't matter. What does matter is the department. So for example, U of T's English department, I'm sure they're great. They could be #1 in the world. They could be 0th in the world. It doesn't matter for me. I'm not taking courses there. So I would encourage you all, when you're looking at what you want to study, look at the school, but also at the department and the faculty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So really, you are studying with that professor within that department. It's not necessarily the school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in terms of how you prepare, so is U of T your #1 choice? That's I always want to go to U of T, or you do have other things, other dream schools?
Yeah, so there were some other schools I applied to. I know Duke being one of them. I didn't end up getting in there. There were a few other Ivy League schools, but when it really came down to it, the tuition costs at Toronto were just way better than anything else American schools could offer.
Oh, I see. I see. And what about the major? You always know that you're interested in biology.
Yeah, so I had that picture of myself in a poster presentation. From a very young, I'd say probably about 10th grade, I knew I wanted to do something in the biological sciences. And the way it works at U of T in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences is you enter in one of 6 streams. So you're either life sciences, math and physical sciences, computer science, commerce, so business, social sciences, or humanities. And then at the end of your first year, you choose your major. And so I came in as a life sciences student. I played around with some biology courses. And then I actually kind of dropped in on some upper year courses, really liked this one in molecular genetics. I said, that's it, we're going to go for it. And that's what I do now.
Wow, wow. Well, you already know like what you were studying in grade 10. Wow, very well prepared.
Yes.
Okay, well, okay, let's answer some of the questions from our students, our audience. Okay, #1. Oh, okay, this is also a general question for you from Sherry. What do you want to do in the future?
Yeah, so I want to go to graduate school, hopefully a direct entry PhD, probably in the US. But after that, I want to kind of take my education to biotech. I want to go use CRISPR to cure blindness, stuff like that. So some more education and then industry is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need more this kind of talents, right? I mean, with all this COVID, we just need more ways to
more virologists.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. We need. Okay, next question from Anonymous. Okay, how did you prepare for the first year undergraduate?
So my high school actually did a really good job of preparing me. I took a lot of AP courses, and I really took courses. It wasn't really the amount of work that I did, but it was that the work was challenging. And so in particular, like Calc BC, AP Bio, they were really asking me good probing questions. And so I had a lot of the background information and the passion to work. I think one important part, beyond just learning the structure of DNA and any of that basic stuff, was that I was really excited to enter university. The work I'd done in high school had shown me how cool biology was, and I had a lot of passion to get stuff done here. And if you're not motivated in uni, you're going to get screwed. Like you have to care what you do and really like it there.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that. I think it's all about this self-motivation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what you want to do, and you just doing your best, moving towards that goal. Yeah, this motivation is really the drive for the success in academic, in your career, in your life. Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Okay, good. So I think you also took many AP courses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a
Okay.
few.
So that really helps, and also in terms of you're getting credits in a university as well for those courses.
Definitely. Yeah, I think I could graduate a semester early if I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So to answer that question, basically just need to have your goal and have your determination, get yourself motivated and prepare taking AB or taking IB courses here in Ontario. That all help you to be successful in the first year. Okay. Let's move on to next one from Hua Li. Okay. Is it possible to double major at U of T, especially across curriculum streams? Can you do double major in economics and biology? Do you know that?
Yes. So in short, economics and biology, absolutely. The way it works in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences is that if you do one major, you're expected to do either a second major or 2 additional minors. We have a level above a major, which is what I'm doing, and it's called a specialist. And so there's a lot of flexibility to kind of mix and match what you want. And even if you're a student in engineering or architecture or another faculty, you can take a minor in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. So yeah, we're really big on cross-disciplinary work, and you're encouraged actually to take 2 majors. It's a very popular option.
Okay. Next one from Yola Yang. How did you find out your interests? What's motivated you to be so determined? How did you know that
Um,
you like biology, life science? How did you know that?
yes. So in ninth grade, I had a really good biology teacher, and I enjoyed the class, even though I didn't actually do too well in it. And then in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I was part of a research program. It was done in conjunction with a research institute at a local university in New Jersey. And we were conducting real research. We had turned our high school classroom into a lab. And it wasn't, anything high tech, but I got a little bit of a taste for what it felt like to do real science and to kind of have to figure things out on your own. And I mean, I was addicted. I was like, this is it. This is what I got to go for. And beyond that, I really had a lot of fun doing like reading papers and stuff like that, even though I didn't understand much. So if you're interested in something, you don't know if you want to do it, I think go find an academic journal, go find a scholar in your field and read up about it. If you like a book they read, that's a good sign. Maybe you should major in it.
Hmm. That's right. I think, yeah, what I get from your experience is give a try. Go to the lab and join one of the research team. You don't have to be very fancy, advanced. Just doing it yourself, and you know whether you like it or not. Yeah. So yeah, for our students, if you think that you may like something, just give it a try. You never know until you do it, until you try it. So I mean, the best I would say assets you have now is you have time. You're still young, and try things out and find the things that you are interested in. Right? Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next one is from El Moro. Is it a good idea to do an undergrad at U of T if you're thinking of applying to med school? Okay, I've heard that it puts you at a disadvantage because U of T has insane grad deflation. U of T does not favor its own students when applying to med school. Is that true?
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot in this question. And so to start, I think I want to share a little bit about my own experience. So I'm a student in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, but the program I'm in, Molecular Genetics and Microbiology, is hosted by a department in the Faculty of Medicine. And so technically all of my professors are Faculty of Medicine professors. The classrooms, when I get to go to them, will be in medical buildings. And so I'm kind of in between the two. I'm a little bit of an edge case. And so when I was accepted to this program, based on my grades in first year, the professor told us, they were trying to talk us into doing it. They said, okay, half of you are going to go to medical school, half of you are going to go to graduate school. That was that. And so I think there's a lot of scary things to be said about, oh, grade deflation at U of T, this, that. It's hard to go to medical school. I can't speak to the life sciences program at McMaster, but I can say there are a lot of programs at U of T that do a good job of preparing you for medical school. and that U of T will indeed take you. There's no reason to think they'll try to screw you like that.
Okay, yeah. I think these are things like you if you do a Google search, you probably have received those advice from someone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's really your qualification and your excellence in your study, your score, and your skills, right?
Definitely.
That really matters. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Next one is from Hali again. I know you're in Trinity College, but do you know anything about University College?
So funny thing, I only put the picture of Trinity College because it was a pretty picture on campus. I am actually a member of University College. I lived on residence there my first year. It was a great experience. What else? I'm actually friends with the president of the University College governance. It's the oldest student, democratically elected student society in the world, North America, Canada, I forget. But yeah, UC, is what we call it. It has a really great community, some really nice people, and they're doing some really interesting things. And so I would encourage you to go apply there. I had a lot of fun.
Have you heard about this insane grade deflation?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a question. It comes up a lot on Reddit. I'm not convinced there is actually deflation. I don't know for myself. I don't see the curves. I can say personally from my own experiences, I've had good test scores. I've had bad test scores. Overwhelmingly, my grades have been fine. I've found if you're willing to go to the library, if you're willing to put in the work, you really don't have much to worry about. The professors and the teaching assistants here really do care about you. They really do want to help you. And so maintaining high academic standards is really a matter of time management. I'm doing things I like, and so I have to kind of really keep to a calendar. All right, this hour I'm doing this, next half an hour I'm doing this. But overall, it sounds a little bit weird, but I feel like my high school experience was harder. Like all the AP courses I took, it was a little bit more. Maybe it's just because I'm used to it, but I have not found U of T courses so far in my degree to be anything crazy, insane, you're gonna hate it kind of stuff.
Actually, I heard one of the professor was telling, one of the webinar, a professor was saying, when you get to first year, second year university, then you're competing with all those top students around the world or in your country. Of course, you would to be like the number one in your school, but then you go to a district and you go to a city and then you go to the whole university, you're not number one anymore. So of course you have this very fierce competition against each other. But I think, as you said, the time you put in, the study and the hard work will eventually tell. Well, yeah, it's not just about deflating itself, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, so what's your opinion on applying to US Ivy League university schools versus Canadian school? If the hype around this really worth it?
So in a word, I'm just gonna say no. In particular, I don't know your exact background, but at U of T, the domestic tuition is about 6,000 Canadian dollars. International tuition is about 50,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, tuition at an Ivy League school is about 70,000 US dollars. And Ivy Leagues are not that much better. They're really not worth it. I wouldn't recommend it. As a matter of fact, one of my friends was admitted to Princeton and also U of T, and she chose U of T over Princeton. It really just was not worth the amount of money that you have to spend to go there. I've found there's everything you can get in an Ivy League, you can get here. And I don't see any reason to spend that kind of money on an undergraduate degree.
Okay, that's a very straightforward answer. Okay. Next one. Okay. Why did you pick U of T over McGill?
So there were a few things. So superficially, McGill is colder. I did not think I could make it in Montreal. I was like, all right, Toronto I can kind of handle. But also Toronto's academics were a little bit higher ranked. So I looked at the departments. I know our molecular genetics department is 11th in the world. I don't think McGill's is anywhere near there. And so I said, well, Toronto's warmer, it's got better education. I might as well choose that one. I could have gone to McGill. I think it would have been a little bit cheaper, but I went for Toronto.
Okay. So I think for your case, I can see that, financial is a very important factor in choosing a school as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think for many of our students as well. So it's not just about academic studies, but also financial. It's your investment. Your return on over your investment has to be put into consideration as well. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see if we have any other questions coming up.
I see I got a private message about Ivy League connections being more precious. So from my personal experience, I don't think that's necessarily true. U of T alumni are some of the most accomplished people in the world. We have a bunch of Canadian prime ministers, a bunch of top leading academics and scientists. A lot of business and industry in Canada is run by U of T alums, and they really do come back to campus. They do recruit, and they do that kind of stuff. I don't think it's anything you specifically get at an Ivy League. That kind of networking is something accessible to Torontonians.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Next question. What courses did you take in high school? Yeah, can you just review the list of those courses? Has taking AP exam helped you prepare for university? I know the answer. Yeah, can you just tell them again?
Yes. Yeah, so I took, a bunch of honors and whatever courses in high school. I probably couldn't list them, but I think I could probably list all my AP courses. Let's see. So I did AP US History, AP Spanish, AP Physics 1, AP Biology, AP US Government, AP Lit, English Language, AP English Literature and Composition. There's the 2 English ones. What other AP courses are there? I'm blanking now. That's 7. What other fields am I missing? I didn't do econ. I don't remember. Okay. Oh, calculus. I took calculus and something else. But yeah, so it was a pretty diverse range of AP courses. And I would say, yes, absolutely, it helped me prepare for university, specifically because AP tests are cumulative. And in university, as compared to high school, a lot more of your grade is dependent on midterm and final exams. And so learning how to go through the course, knowing you're going to have to take a big exam at the end, was very useful. It was something my Canadian counterparts who hadn't taken AP courses had to learn, but I already knew. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, of course, definitely taking AP will help you in terms of getting ready in academic studies, but also paying kind of like, you're investing your university degrees, right? So you pay less and you can get over it faster. Yeah, definitely. AP, IB. Okay. Next one. Okay, so as well, your email. Are you willing to share your email? We can talk about that afterwards, or
yeah, let's handle that at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Okay. What is your experience on choosing your second year courses? What about the electives?
Yeah, so second year courses. So first year, you have like 3 in life sciences. You have 3 core courses, and then your other 2, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I think about the same holds up for second year. And so there were some courses like biochemistry, chemistry, evolutionary biology I know I had to take, but I also had some room to play around. And so I looked at all the courses. I said, I could take an English course. I could take this. I could take that. No, I want more biology. And so I added a second major in fundamental genetics, and I'm taking like a biotechnology course for that. So yeah, there's a bunch of electives. I took one in indigenous film last year. That was pretty interesting. But choosing second year courses, it's really not that exciting. They tell you what you have to take, and then you can kind of pick what you want, and you do them. That's about it.
Okay. Next one. What is a good time to start applying for university?
Honestly,
when did you start? Yeah, when did you start?
So earlier the better. I know in senior year, the earlier you've gotten into your college and you're not going anywhere else, the better. And I know Toronto in particular, I think they start like in August. So I would encourage you, as soon as it's open, they don't even need essays, get them in, get it done. Scholarships, you have to, some of them are included if you just apply, they'll consider you, but other ones you have to apply specifically. So do your research, look out for those. I know they got a lot of money to give out. Go try to get some.
Okay, next one is still about the AP credits. Were you able to use your AP credit? If so, which classes were you able to skip?
Yes. So In terms of skipping AP credits, what did I use? Okay, so I used biology. So I took biology. I used an English course to get out of what we call breadth requirements. So making sure you don't take all your courses in one field like I'm doing. And I also used AP US history to do that. But then I also took biology and psychology, but then retook the course here. There's some content that is taught in university that isn't really taught in AP, and I wanted to make sure I would get into second year perfectly level with everybody else. I was also briefly considering doing a psychology major, and you can't do the major if you AP out of that first intro class, so I took it.
Okay, next one from Hannah. Can you give more detail about your major? How many courses did you choose in the first year? Do you have any recommendations?
Yes, so right now my program is a specialist in molecular genetics and microbiology. It's one of a few that are co-offered between the Faculty of Arts and Science and the Faculty of Medicine. I really enjoy it. It's a very tight-knit group, which I love. There's only about 25 of us, so you run into the same people in all your classes. We do, in particular, I think one of the highlights is in second year, you take a course where they put you in a lab with a professor and you do research. And so as an undergraduate, getting a research position is kind of something to always worry about. And it's nice to have that guaranteed. How many, so at U of T, typically you take 5 courses at a time. And so I did 5 like semester-long courses my first semester of my first year, and then the same in that second semester. This semester, I'm actually doing 6 courses. In terms of recommendations, there's a lot of resources out there. There's, and a lot of courses are put under departments you wouldn't really think of. So if you're interested in a biology course, you wouldn't really think to go look at, immunology or biochemistry, but really the really interesting stuff is in those weird kind of smaller departments. And so I would recommend kind of poke around and see what's up.
Okay. Okay, next one is it true that you can only apply to one program if you're applying to U of T?
No. So if you apply to the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, you apply to one of those 6 streams. And so, for example, you could say, I want to be a life sciences student or a business student. But then after your first year, you choose your program and you're not restricted. So at the end of my first year, I could have become a history major if I really wanted. We have over 300 programs that you can choose from, and they're pretty, anybody can apply to any program. They're pretty open about that.
Okay, next one from Sherry. What the path will be next after university? I think you kind of touched on it.
Yeah, I spoke to this earlier. I'm aiming to go on a direct entry PhD program, probably back in the United States. So, and then after that, biotechnology. I want to go to industry.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're all well planned for the next 10 years.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, but that's the plan.
Okay, great. Okay, next one. I'm assuming there's a, what's that, SUPP application? Okay. Do you know about it?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that stands for supplemental. And so for Toronto, actually, there is not. They, from what I remember, they just look at your grades, your test scores, and they say, okay or no. There wasn't any essays I had to write. I think the longest thing I typed on the application was my address. So that's why I say it was the first school I applied to. I would recommend knock it out real fast. It's pretty easy to apply. Oh, I almost forgot. There are 2 colleges, Victoria and Trinity, that are kind of restricted. You have to apply to them. You apply to colleges and you have to select them first. Those 2 colleges have supplemental applications. And so I didn't apply to either. I don't know what they ask, but I think it's more or less in line with what other colleges would ask in terms of a supplemental application. They really want to see kind of your personality come across.
Okay. So let's see when any other questions pop up. Any private questions to you?
No, nothing yet.
Okay.
Whew.
Wow, we have all questions from all aspects.
Oh yeah.
How did you prepare? And then your course selections. Okay. Do you have to pass honor program before further master degree?
So when I graduate, I forget the exact cutoff. There's some GPA cutoff where after which, when I graduate instead of with a bachelor's of science, it's an honors bachelor of science. That doesn't have any direct impact on graduate school applications, but having a high enough GPA will. If you're graduating with a 1.9, I don't know about a master's. but they're not very restrictive on, you know, you need to be in this honors program or this honors college. The master's programs are pretty open to a lot of people from different backgrounds.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think we can just sum it up. I mean, my takeaway here today is basically you need to have your plan. I mean, when you are in high school, you need to think about what things you really want to do and try it out, like what our guest did today, right? Yeah, you have to try it out and then lay down your plan for your future and then study hard and prepare for university and then yeah, kind of plan for yourself. That's very important. Okay, next question here. What is your experience been like learning online this year? Okay.
Okay, so online, to be honest, some of it not so fun. There are some, you know, a lot of the smaller interpersonal classes where you'd really be talking to a professor. You can still do it, but it just really isn't the same. The bigger courses, it's about the same. It doesn't really matter. As a life sciences student, I take a lot of lab courses. Those are not as good. But U of T, we have a lot of really smart people, and we have a good faculty of teaching. So there's a lot of people who are really interested in how you teach well and how you teach well online, and they're doing a good job. And I would just like to add that I do have one course in person this year. I'm doing a yeast genome sequencing lab. And so on Tuesdays, I get to go to campus and I go in the lab and do in-person stuff and sequence a genome, which is kind of fun.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds fun.
Yeah.
No, I totally have no clue what that is all about.
Yeah, it's one of the world's like leading yeast genomicists works at U of T. And so a member of his lab teaches this course and it's a good time.
Good, good. I can see that. I mean, even when you're talking about this, I can see the sparkling.
Yeah.
I know you love it. I can see that. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, there's something else I can ask you. What about, did you take any competitions in high school? Would that actually help you for the university application? Did you take like debate, computer science, coding?
Yeah, so I did a computer science club. There wasn't really anything competitive there. I was part of a Model UN team. And so it was kind of competitive. I won a few awards there. In terms of the impact on my application, I'm not too sure. I think U of T really looks for the numbers, if I had to guess. They're really interested more in your grades and your test scores. That being said, very valuable experience. You can't go to school and just do school. Everybody does something outside of class. And it's important in high school to figure out, you know, what you like doing. For me, I decided like playing viola, like that's pretty fun. Student government, that's pretty fun. And so I kept it up. That I think was important to figure out in first year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So it's not. I think for all those extracurricular activities, it's not just about applying for university. It's also developing your social skills, leadership, time management,
Definitely,
and all that,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's your score that really matters. But all those are good soft skills to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes down, you know, if you have to do an interview with somebody, those are the things.
To talk to people. Yeah. That kind of good. Okay, so let's see if any other questions come up. Okay, oops, still have. So, okay, so as I think that would be my last question. So most of our audience are actually high school students, as you know. What are the advice, I mean, in general, you would give to them while they're preparing for university?
In terms of preparing for university, first of all, you're in high school. You have probably a lot of education, so sometimes you can just take it easy. You don't always have to go crazy hard all the time. That being said, I invested a lot of time in preparing for my ACT, preparing for AP courses, and really doing well in my extracurriculars. And I think, you know, at the time, you can think, oh, like, why am I studying for this test? It's not gonna, like, my score isn't gonna matter as soon as I get into college. What's the point? But I think the time you invest there really does matter. It does pay off in terms of the study skills you gain, the interpersonal skills you acquire. And so I think it's important to kind of mess around and explore and kind of find what you like. And once you've done that, to really work hard. Be serious about your classes, be serious about your test scores. and you'll have a good time.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So work hard and also explore your interests, your areas that you want to, and take everything seriously. Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. I like those 3 point of advice. I hope our audience get that.
Yes.
Okay.
Alex.
Okay. Okay. I think that's my last question. If you don't have any questions, I would like to say thank you for taking your time and sharing your experience with us. So I think there's one question from one of the audience before. If you are okay to share your email so they can follow up us with questions, or yeah, wait,
Tell you what, email can be kind of clunky. I have an Instagram. That might be easier.
Sure.
That should do it. So if you go look that up, you can also, I think, just find me on Facebook if you want to Facebook message me there. But yeah, if you have questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, so thank you again for sharing with us tonight, and thank you to all our audience. Wish you all success in your high school studies and also university application.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.